Hello. Hi.
Hello everyone! I hope you guys are having a nice day or night. Thanks for asking. I'm doing just fine. Thank you so much. Thank you. Why am I like this? Transitioning from that, Helldivers 2 is a 4-group team game that drops into missions, completing primary tasks, side tasks, and finally, flying away back to your mom's house. What? There are 3 factions to pick from: Terminids, Automatons, and Illuminates. For those who are experienced, we all know the game is a mess and chaotic in a glitchy sense. So as of now, here I am with my personal suggestions for beginners and strugglers. Just to warn everyone, this guide is biased, but there will be a reason why I'm taking this way. So let's get into my not so accurate guide. The easiest faction for beginners to start with is Terminids. This is usually during the beginner phase at least. For harder tiers like Super Helldive, it really depends. So what I'm going to do for each faction is give you 3 important factors and finally recommending my personal favorite stratagems for each one. So, for Terminids, the 3 most important factors of this Grimly world are awareness, distancing, and finally, crowd control. 2 support weapons that I prefer are grenade launcher and autocannon. Recoilless is another option I would use, but those are my top picks for Terminids. The rest would include a supply pack or the guard dogs. I sometimes go for an expendable anti-tank in case of emergency if I need a backup of more explosions. For Eagle 1 stratagems, these include the few Eagle Strafing Run, Airstrike, and 500 kg. For orbital stratagems, Orbital Laser, Gatling Barrage, Napalm Barrage, and either the 120mm or the 380mm. And these are my personal weapon loadouts for Terminids. Going up the list, my next beginner option in the lower difficulty is Automatons. I do not recommend this on higher difficulties, unless you are prepared to really pull your hair off. For higher levels in this robotic world, I normally prioritize crowd control, accuracy and precision, and finally, supporting your teammates. 2 support weapons that I usually pick are Railgun and Recoilless. Additional support weapons can vary as long as it's related to explosions and heavy penetration. The backpacks would include the supply pack and the shield generator pack, though they can vary as usual depending on your playstyle. For Eagle 1 stratagems, I prefer the 500 kg and the Airstrike, though Strafing Run does work, but 500 kg and the Airstrike are probably your most top picks. Orbital stratagems that are good for all-rounders consist of Laser, Gatling, 120mm, 380mm, and finally the Walking Barrage. And then, here are my weapon loadouts. Finally, the last faction on the list is Illuminates. This group of aliens is not the one faction that any beginner should start with. And do not get me started when you start seeing the motherships that comes in every single freaking minute. Factors that matter the most in this are crowd control, distancing, and penetration. 2 support weapons that I suggest are anti-material rifle or the heavy machine gun. Funny enough, the commando is also a good emergency weapon for these big guys. The rest would include the supply pack and jetpack. Other substitutes can vary once again. For Eagle 1, I prefer Strafing Run and 500 kg. Airstrike is also another good option. Orbital Stratagems, on the other hand, could be picked from the lasers, Gatling, 120mm, or the 380mm. And then here are my weapon loadouts. In the end of the day, one can see the power creep and meta of how Helldivers 2 has ran over the few years. From ranking hardest to easiest are Illuminates, Terminids, and Automatons. Though some communities can say Automatons are way much harder than Illuminates, but also some people would like to say that Terminids is actually the hardest. I think none of those are wrong at all. They're all hard. I'm sorry to be one of these people, but sometimes just following the trend or the meta or like whatever stuff thing, sometimes it's just not best to follow it. Maybe it's making your gameplay more boring. There are like plenty of selections and options to choose from. The best takeaway that I could possibly give you is follow or forge your own path. Make it interesting. Yes, I mean, take in the tips and suggestions that I gave you guys, but make sure to combine it in your own way to enjoy the game. That is the important piece of this guide. Anyways, thanks for watching. And of course, please take care. Yeah.